Welcome back to my channel. I am No Common Man. If you've been here before, which you probably haven't because nobody's ever seen any of my videos, you will notice that my background has changed. Yes, it is changing. I was green, oddly enough, when this light on it. It looked kind of whitish, but now it's gray. The guitars will be back soon. Everything will be back to normal. This is a work in progress, so we'll get there. All right, so like I've also explained in previous videos that you probably haven't watched either, is that, my videos are random. It's kind of the things that come to mind as I live my day-to-day life, and I'm trying to put it in a context that maybe can help some other people. So today's topic, what I wanted to talk about, what I wanted to bring up, in which I had to delete their app recently because the Weather Channel, man, like there is nothing but depressive news information on their website, on the app. The videos it recommends, it's all negative information. It's the end of the world weather stuff. And if you delete that, if you stop paying attention to those weather apps, the weather notifications, the weather news, and just live your life like the world's not ending, just so you know. I remember growing up, and I was pretty young. It was post 9/11, and I just remember that there was so much information always in the news that the world was going to end, right? The world is coming to an end. Too many people are spraying hairspray all at once, and cows were farting all over the place. And so the world was ending like tomorrow. There was a hole in the atmosphere. If you weren't around for this will be interesting, because there was a hole in the atmosphere, right? And we were bleeding atmosphere. We were bleeding oxygen. It was expanding, and it was like death was imminent. And I remember being young, and it was like, at first it was like, oh, that's interesting. There's a hole in the atmosphere. That has nothing to do with me. But as I got older and older, it was like this impending doom that just constantly hung over the head whenever you heard those news. And you heard it a lot because it was always being voiced everywhere that could get, the message across that this atmosphere is, the hole's bleeding, we're all going to die. I even saw, there was one movie where there was a hole in the atmosphere, and it opened up and like started burning people. And I was like, oh shit, this is us. This is going to happen to us. And then Al Gore put out that movie where basically, we were all going to die under an ocean of water because all the icebergs were melting, and just like, we're screwed. We're screwed, and it's only a couple years from now. Well, it's well and past all of that. Apparently the hole healed itself, sealed itself, and we're not under, 50 feet of water, if not more, and that's on the highest mountains. My point is don't pay attention to these weather reports. I remember, before Christianity, one of the major things that contributed to my depression was the fact that I was paying attention to all these different sources that were feeding me information that was all negative constantly. And I'm not just, it's about the weather, but it's not just that. It's like the sources of information that are constantly feeding you that you're paying attention to. These things are poisoning your mind constantly, and it's weighing you down. It's building up that sense of impending doom. No wonder kids are, it's a pandemic. Yes, but it's a pandemic of kids committing suicide, teens and young children. I was suicidal, and I was depressed, and weather factors were contributing, but also news reports and all these other different factors. My point is if you're depressed, if you're feeling negative, if you're feeling bad, don't compound it with negative things being contributed to it on the daily, because those weather reports come out daily. The notifications come out on your phone daily. It's always popping up. Boom, boom, boom. If you watch the weather reports, it's like the worst year of any known weather history event 2021. And it's like, it shows flashes of like houses being blown away and floods and cows walking through, flooded fields. And it's like, that's been going on forever. It's been happening forever. Yes, some people say it's worse than ever before, but I mean, I've also seen weather reports and events where bad things have happened back when we started recording weather events and histories. I mean, whole towns were wiped out in weather events. And yeah, it was worse construction, but still, like, my point is that these things aren't like all too uncommon. It's the reality of the world. Whether it is increasing and getting worse, and every year's getting worse, like, what does it matter to you? Like, if you're depressed right now, this is just destroying you. It's hurting you. There's no need to add this to the list of things that are, bothering you on your mind. Start cutting these things out. Start cutting negative things out. Not just the weather, not just the news, but if you're getting notifications on your phone from this, that, and it's it's just hurting you mentally, like, you need to recognize that and start taking friggin' responsibility for your mental health, your mental well-being, your mental positivity and clarity, and just start cutting it out of your life. Otherwise, it's easy to get sucked into it because it's like a drama. It's like, and we love drama. That's why people watch the Kardashians. I haven't watched one episode ever. Any person that has watched more than a handful of episodes, I really question their mental health and stability, because, like, really? What the? Anyway, we have to take responsibility for what is going on up here. And if you're just letting anything pump its negativity into you, like, unfortunately, here's the reality. It's your fault. It's your fault that, like, all these things are going on because you just haven't recognized it. But here's the good news, is that you can change that by starting to make changes to your life. Turn off the weather reports and notifications. Turn off the notifications from every news source. They only pump out negative things. So it's like, well, obviously I have to get rid of that. But start turning your life around, man. It's one thing at a time. Like I said, when I was depressed, the weather, among other things, the weather was a very big one because it affects all of us. And it's like, we're all going to die tomorrow. And it's like, well, what's the point of living even if I solved world hunger, even if I, fixed economies and saved the country, what does it matter? Because we're all going to be dead in 5 years, and there's nothing any of us can do because we're all just a simple little human being living our lives, and there's mega corporations pumping out all these, different things that are affecting our environments, but it's our fault as a singular person. You got to get out of that mindset. You got to let go of those things and let life go on. So that's it. I'm going to keep it short. Like I said, turn off the news, turn off the weather reports, and, you'll find happiness. You'll find life again. So I am No Common Man. I will see you again.